this morning we have the privilege to host Dr. Sindisiwe Dashe. That's the social role in this physical plane, but in spirit, she's of the sun. Uyindlovukazi yaselangeni, if people will understand the spiritual, how in spirit her role, she's indlovukazi yaselangeni. So I would love her to introduce herself, what she has studied in this physical plane before we proceed with our communion. Welcome, Dr. Dashe.
Thank you, Etu. Good morning in this beautiful day. As Dr. Mmatheo has mentioned, yes, I'm Dr. Dashe. Sure, I'm a minister in metaphysical science. I've done it with University of Sedona in Arizona. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm a theta healer. I'm a medium. Amongst a reverend, obviously, from metaphysical science. So amongst other things that when we are here on earth, while searching for your journey, you do that until you find something that you think, no, this is me, or this accommodates who I am. So basically I hope I've covered the most important parts. Thank you.
She has said a mouthful, but basically, just to summarize, it's saying it's knowing through becoming and remembering that we are of the royal priesthood that existed in antiquity, and we remembering the role we played as the priestesses in antiquity, in our past incarnation, and we're reliving that moment of honoring the goddess mother of creation as we embody that energy and contributing in self-awakening. And through self-awakening, we realize that as we awaken as individuals, we awaken the collective. And that's what we call knowing through becoming. So we're not here to heal, because healing comes with remembering. And when you remember your true self, your authentic self, you heal from within, for the power lies within. And thank you. So let's embark on our journey of remembering our true nature and our true self.
Thank you, Doctor. It's a journey indeed. As individuals, when we are born, siyaphathiswa. Siphathiswa wounds, amanxeba, siphathiswa ubuhlungu, siphathiswa i-anger, siphathiswa inzondo, siphathiswa into eziningi that are things that abokhokho bethu went through.
Yes.
So now baphathise thina to remember on how to become, to become what you are, remembering what you are, because in order for you to go back there, you have to be in peace.
Yes.
You have to be in love, So you ask yourself, because in this world, it became so comfortable for us to ukusola abanye abantu. I'm going through 1, 2, 3 because of uzban, uzban, uzban.
Yeah, exactly.
But when we remember that the other people reflect on what's going on within us, kulokhu esikuphethe, obviously spirit will have to embody omunye umuntu to trigger something within you.
Yes.
So when that is done, instead of us blaming and being comfortable on blaming other people. Remember that, oh, by the way, ngiyeza ngiphathe ubuhlungu babokhokho.
Exactly.
I need to forgive. I need to let go. I need to learn from my experiences. That way, it becomes easy for us to forgive others, because you understand ukuthi akusilo muntu that did that to you. You know, it's you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's you and those that you carry. So yeah.
You reminded me of Carl Jung when he says we empath, in a sense that he's saying the empath, they tend to feel deeply, and the society will say you're too much, you're too sensitive. But when you are an empath and you feel deeply, in most cases, which I've experienced, I used to think when I'm feeling miserable and I'm feeling depressed or I'm sensing energy shift, I used to think that actually is directly linked to what is happening in me. And when we get we sense, we are thermometers. We read the room, we read the energy, we read the environment. And sometimes when you pick up those and you're feeling an energy shift, which I've learned or I've remembered because there's nothing to learn, I realize that when I'm in an area and I'm reading the energy or the aura or whatever it's happening, most of the time it's not because it's within me. It's actually that because of my sensitive nature and being so much in sync with the energy field, because I'm not outside of it, I'm actually in fusion with the energy field. So I read every shift and I pick up what others are not reading. So that's powerful what you've said, because most healers, we are empaths. Most people who are deeply connected with the spiritual domain, we hear the unspoken, we hear the unseen. No, we hear the unspoken and we see the unseen. And you could walk in, people having party or people having fun, but as you step in, you can pick up the energy shift and you can see what's unfolding in spirit. And most of the people, they've actually numbed that. They've numbed their extrasensory and they function from the five, the eyes, the nose, the skin, the ears, and the extrasensory has been dampened because the programming tells you that believe what you see, walk by sight, not by faith. By faith, basically, it means that allow yourself to be guided by your intuitive intelligence. And most people don't function at that level. So when Utsisi Patisiwe, for me, you are reinforcing, because for a long time, I'll be somewhere, I'll leave home, I'm okay, I've done my meditation, I've done whatever, and I'm okay. But then I go somewhere, and as I step in, there's that thing that weighs heavily on me, and I feel my energy leaking and I feel depressed. And then I realized, but I was okay. And once you sense that you're losing energy and it's leaking, it's because you're reading the environment. But the secret here is not to allow yourself to leak. When you realize that it's not what you're feeling, it's not inside of you, it's actually the environment, is to raise your vibration and fuse more with that energy, but rising instead of descending to the world of chaos.
It's true. It's true, Doctor. Because it's something that most of us, it's like, I remember myself, growing up, it would be difficult. You leave home energetic and okay.
Yes.
When you get to a shopping center or where there's many people, you start feeling so drained and you don't understand. So here, what I realized, what helped, it's knowing.
Yes.
When you know yourself, that you are aware of, okay, this kind of a being. And so you understand when you go where there's too many people, and then you start feeling like that, the minute you remember that, oh, by the way, uba nendlela to, like, maybe to protect or to shield your energy. So I think when you say that, what's important is the knowing.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Knowing. We in the book Odyssey of a Healer, it's covered. Knowing through becoming.
Yes.
You become that. You don't. You not separate energy. We energy. You know that you are a metaphysicist. We energy, and energy. It's us and it's everything around us. So we're swimming. We energy in motion. So when you sense that, you are fusing with the energy, and you can decide to actually descend, which means you're leaking, or you can actually raise your vibration and rise. So it's that part of we energy, and energy in its dense form is this mass, this solid, and then energy never, it cannot be destroyed. Even when a person dies, it's the body that returns the lump, the soil, soil to soil, but the spirit carries on its spiral ascension. If it's ready to spiral ascend, or it's in limbo for a period so that it prepares itself for a spiral ascension. But basically what we're saying is that energy changes from one form to another. So knowing through becoming, it's powerful. It's not easy. Goodness, it's not easy. It's the most challenging, because knowing through becoming in us. I remember Ubaba Credo used to say, when I used to spend time with Baba Credo was saying to, I'll put it the way Baba Credo said it to me. Baba Credo said to me, Nkosazana, in you, there's a worm of darkness and there's a worm of light. They're residing in your brain. And I said, truly, Baba. And Baba said, no, just take it that way. There's a worm of darkness and a worm of light. You do not destroy the worm of darkness. Neither do you say, I'm only saving the light. You strike a balance. They are intertwined, just like our DNA makeup, the DNA. It's an intertwine. They must dance. It's a dance. So Ubaba used to say to me, Are, just like the light, ilanga, ndlovukazi yelanga, the sun will rise every morning and shine for everyone from the east, and we pay homage to the sun. And then sunset, when it comes, it's not even contesting, it will just go down. And then we pay homage to that, the creative spark. It resurrected the creative spark in us when it was rising and allowed us to be productive for the day. And the moon will reflect the radiance of the sun. And the moon won't say, Pegala, namhlanje I'm not doing it. No, actually, if people want to talk about unconditional romance, look at the dance of the moon and the sun. The moon is the feminine energy. And let's say the moon is the feminine and the sun is the masculine. They are always dancing, forever in love, no contest, no manipulation, no domination. It's just a dance. And if Mother Nature can teach us to live in harmony, where life is a dance, life is a dance, the dance of the feminine and the masculine. And in us, we've got the masculine and the feminine. And life, it's not about fixing anything, because nothing was ever broken. Life is about coming to that state of the return to self, where you realize that the feminine, which for a long time it was suppressed because of patriarchy, must balance with the masculine. Where does the dance start? It starts with us, the dance of the masculine and the feminine. And when that harmony and when that wholeness is established, when you give it to yourself, it has a rippling effect to change the world we want to birth into form. We're birthing new earth. New earth, we are ushering new earth. And new earth is about the dance of the feminine and the masculine coming together. The patriarchy can no longer serve. Matriarchy can no longer serve. It's about coming together in wholeness, in oneness, and dance.
It's true, Etu. When you talk about the worm of darkness and light,
yes,
that Ubaba Credo said, it's something that needs to balance.
Yes.
It's the teaching that my brother is continuing now, because my father was the founder of the Elect Apostolic Church.
Yes.
It's more metaphysical church, I would say, because it's actually a school, but because of, here on earth, everything has to be named in order.
Exactly.
Yes, so it's actually a school. So now my brother is raising the teachings that because now we've got this thing that negative, it's negative.
Yes.
You don't need that.
Put an arm's length.
Yes, and then positive is. So my brother is now raising the teachings that negative and positive, they need to be in balance.
Exactly.
Yeah, and as you say that if we could be like the sun and the moon, sure, I don't know. There's that sense of peace within where there is no competition. And all that begins within.
Exactly.
When you know that when you're sitting there by yourself, there's no competition within you.
Yes.
That way, when you become involved with someone else, you know that nothing needs to be fixed.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, it's going to be the way it needs to be. And another thing, where too, is that we grow up and we want to be like everyone else.
Yes.
We are afraid to be who we are or what we are because what people will say. I've suffered from that for a very long time.
Yes, me too.
Hiding yourself, not being open about who you are or what you can do. You hide. Hey, what will people do? Will start treating me differently and will start, because as is, you feel like an outcast.
Already you are an outcast.
Yes, so you feel that, if people can see that I can speak to the spirit, if people can know that I communicate with the elders, will think that will start treating me different, and then you hide yourself.
Yes.
And that thing becomes toxic
Exactly.
to yourself.
Poison.
Yes. And then sometimes there are messages that you have to pass on, but you don't want to because what will people say? Or, they'll realize who I am, and so that way you hide yourself and say, no, I cannot, I cannot say that. And remember the message that's passed on to you, you're supposed to pass it on. And when you swallow it,
yes,
and it becomes poison.
Yes, you've touched a sensitive part. Now I say sensitive, but maybe past, because it's no longer that sensitive. I've healed. For a long time, when you realize that your makeup energetically, you've entered the physical plane, I say. You've entered the physical plane already with your light on. You realize that most people, they've allowed their lights to be dimmed. So when you enter with your lights on, and then you realize others, they've actually put on mask, it's dimmed. You under pressure, you go through the pressure of, I also have to dim my light so that I'm accepted. I also have to soften myself, especially when you are a female in a world that is dominated by patriarchy, where a woman is belittled, and you come with all who you are. You already know who you are in spirit. You already know the gifts in you. You are aware, and you realize that should you actually make it so obvious, the chances of you being able to navigate yourself in this physical is going to be very difficult, because you're already experiencing hostility. And that hostility, it doesn't start with outsiders. It starts within the family, because you'll be told when you're growing up and you see things in a certain way, you're getting messages, you're getting the ancient ones the ancient ones, the sky people, the deities, they come to you, you commune. I mean, the world, the spiritual world and the physical, when you deeply connected, there's no veil. It's so, you fused. So you access the Akashic records, you access information just like that. And when you decide to communicate to others, you either disturbing their peace of mind or you too much. So you hide. So for a long time, I had to hide, not hide, dim my light. It was a choice, I always say. Dim my light, lie low, keep try to be soft, even when you see even when you get messages and there are things that are being revealed, you become torn whether to communicate or not to communicate. So for a long time, I had to do that. But the rejection didn't start outside. So when it starts from your bloodline, you're rejected by your own family. And then as you get older now, it extends to people outside, the so-called friends. I call associates. Then you go to institutions like we studied, and then you realize what you are being taught in institutions and what's been revealed to you in spirit, they are not even parallel. It's like they diverge. And then you realize, goodness Lord, I have to navigate a funny terrain because there's things don't reconcile. The world teaches that I must suppress, I must be fearful, I must, by the way, I'm a female, I must be the underdog, I must not speak, I don't have a place. And then you realize your makeup is saying, no, you're the wild one. Why tame that which is already wild? Because the great goddess, mother of creation, birthed everything from her womb. And why now lie low? Why not allow self to awaken? Because the power lies in awakening. When you awaken, the Oracle of Delphi said, know thyself. When you know thyself, it doesn't matter what's around you or what is happening. Because when you know thyself, you have actually come to the acknowledgement of that the power lies within me. And I possess in me the seeds with infinite possibilities. So possessing that, that's where the problem comes. Because once you realize who you are, you have to accept yourself. After I realized who I am, I had to accept myself. But now it was about, goodness Lord, how am I going to survive? But finally you reach a stage where you no longer seek to be accepted, neither do you seek to be understood. You realize that you're here to walk your truth and walk your path and contribute in the ushering of new earth during this Aquarian age.
That's true. That's true, Wethu. You know, I'd also like to say thank you to you. I've been like that for a very long time. I remember when growing up, I'd see spirit, I'd see people others couldn't see. And I'd be different. And I remember I wanted to become a medical doctor or, being in the corporate. So after my dad passed on in 94, I started, being depressed. I felt so lost, actually. So, and I was diagnosed with depression, and that I had to take the medication forever. So, when I'd sit in with one of the ladies from church, maybe they'd tell me, no, you've got your father's gift and stuff. Then I'd be like, I can't. Ooh, I'm still young. My dad's life was so boring, always in the office helping people. No, I want to be out there and stuff. But then, there comes a time whether it's when you get a choice that it's either this way or this way.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I had to, do that, oh, okay, Spirit says I should be that. It's not something I wanted to do. It's not something I made peace with it, but because life is pushing me to that. So, okay, I started helping people, praying for people in church and stuff. But I was supposed to be doing what I'm doing today,
Yes.
Yeah. But then I'd be like, okay, even if when I go for radio interviews and stuff, I'd limit myself. No, I
hold
cannot say,
back.
yes, I cannot say that much. I cannot say that much. So why I'm saying to you, to thank you so much, because it's like Spirit pushed you that, what, there's that one at the corner there. We want you to pull her out. And so resisting to be who I am, I got sick, very sick. Actually, before getting sick, life started going.
Yes, it does that.
Yeah.
A rude awakening.
Yes.
In spirit, when they really want you to come out of your cocoon and you say, I'm not ready, they are patient, but they will, it's like, okay, if you're not going to come out, we're not going to break the cocoon, but you'll have a rude awakening because the walls of Jericho crumble down and everything crumbles. And when it crumbles, it brings you to your knees in your cocoon that you realize that I must start actually breaking the cocoon so that I can come out.
Yes.
Not as only the butterfly of transformation, but transform. Flap your wings. And while flapping your wings, seeing yourself and knowing yourself, transcend your limitation because nothing is holding back. You're holding yourself back.
Exactly. Exactly. Because you don't need anyone's permission.
No,
you don't need anyone's permission. You just need your permission, saying that, you know what, I'm giving myself this freedom. So now it's like I made a choice that, you know what, I've got no choice now but to be out there. I remember the last time we spoke and you said, it's time for us to be out there for others that need us, and
that message, it's the message that has been with me because I've been in my own cocoon for a long time and I was always justifying it's not yet time. But the time is now. And when you're undergoing your own awakening, remember we exist in state of oneness and wholeness. As you awaken, the collective is awakening. As you heal, the collective is healing. As you remember your true God nature, which is the nature that you are a being of light. Okay? You are made of the solar logos, the sun. You are a being of light. You are an embodiment of love, God incarnation, and you are truth, the living truth. When you remember that, everything around you that you've always been taught crumbles. And as you come into that, when your spark is now shining, it's no longer a spark of light, but it's a beam, and it's now being amplified. Naturally, it ripples over and it activates the beam of others. So, it's time that as we awaken with the collective. As we heal with the collective. As we remember our true God nature, that we are the children of the law of one, Ubuntu.
Yes.
We should do it collectively.
That's true. That's true. And when you said the institutions, it's like they confused us more. I remember I wanted to, I think I was going to go for theology. But then it didn't make sense from the language we spoke at home, the teachings of my father, and that of the Bible. And, it was like, so I remember I was doing a course on ethnomedicine.
Yes.
I joined the Institute of Ibasa. Okay. While doing that, I was attracted to ethnopsychology as well. Oh yeah, amongst the courses that I've done, ethnopsychology as well. And while doing that, that's when I was introduced to University of Metaphysical
Yes.
Science. And
where I met you first time.
yes. And I was like, wow, this is the language, you know, it's the language that I know, the language that
resonates with you.
Yes, you know, and so these things are just interconnected. The minute you say yes, yeah, to whatever, you don't even know what you're saying yes to, but the trust.
Yes.
You know?
It's the universe. The universe, I was given a message recently. The universe doesn't register words or feelings. The universe responds to vibration. Remember, we energy. Your vibration, the frequency you send out there, the universe will match it. You send a frequency of fear, the universe will match it. You'll manifest that. You send a frequency vibration of I am ready. I am that which I'm seeking. I am that love. I am that truth. I am that being of light. The universe will match that. So the universe responds to frequency because we're multidimensional beings and we energy in motion. Communicate with the universe through frequency, not through words, because it's frequency that the universe reads. And we actually swimming in that frequency at different frequency vibration, because the lowest is 7.9, which is the same as Earth, but you can rise higher. And as you rise higher and you're sending a frequency, the universe, with great reverence, it will match your frequency. So nobody is doing anything to anybody or cursing them. We are our own worst enemies and we curse ourselves because of the vibration and the frequency we send out. Nobody has the power to act on anybody unless you've actually allowed them. You've granted them. You've surrendered your personal will to the other and say, do as you please. It's time. It's time, Earthlings, that we reclaim our power and we stand tall and we know who we are.
And the minute we accept who we are,
exactly,
the better. Like with the Indlovukaziyelanga issue.
Yes. You of the sun.
Yes. And you, like, I wouldn't want to say that so that people would know, you know, to be like,
it's a common thing that we play low, even though you know who you are in spirit and the gifts that have been bestowed and how easily access you have with the spiritual domain. Because of the responsibility and the weight that goes with that, it's always, I think we approach it in a diplomatic way, that we sort of like play low, because it's easy when you play low and you can still feel the human element in you. Yes. Because sometimes when you actually communicate and you bring it out to people, how they perceive and how they see you changes. So after all, we want to be human.
Yes, that's true. And it affects us.
Yes, the human wanting to be human in a world that is so confused and not being able to recognize source who's been made visible. Because source, to know source is manifesting through each and every one of us. But most people cannot see source made visible. So now and again, I have to remind myself that I'm a vessel. I'm the source made visible. So I need to honor this life and navigate the physical terrain with the utmost respect of the source who's manifesting self in me and through me and choosing to be made self-visible. Because it's not about the physical me, it's about the embodied spirit that chooses to use this vessel. And it's not an easy calling at all. Yes.
It's not. But, you know, the sooner you realize and the sooner you accept that, okay, this is who I am, or this is what I am, the easier, because you cannot acknowledge who you are, but you want other people to acknowledge you. You know?
And they are not going to acknowledge because they are also... you reminded me of COVID issue. In this world, we've been taught to wear a mask. You could be in a marriage or even in a relationship. What you know is the physical person you're sharing the house with. The true person you don't know, because when you allow your true self, your authentic self to come out, people scatter. They run away.
Yes.
Because people cannot stand truth. People cannot even stand to see the true God or the true nature of self. They are also hiding. So I have come to a humbling realization that I cannot give to the other that which I cannot give to myself.
Exactly.
I need to cultivate self-love, self-acceptance, and acknowledge the gifts that have been bestowed, and acknowledge that I'm source made visible, and acknowledge that as we working towards new earth that's being ushered during the Aquarian age, we all contributing, but I must do it with awareness, because once you're not aware, you'll be acted upon as a robot. So all of us, to awaken means stop being a zombie. Vuka mawulele.
Yes, be
Vuka
alive.
mawulele. Be alive. And don't allow yourself to be a zombie, to be acted upon. And we say, bekwenzenjani? Kwenzakalani? Ask yourself, I'm contributing. I'm ushering new earth. I'm building our planet. I'm building our cosmos. And I'm on a spiral ascension collectively with the rest of humanity and all beings.
That's true. That's true. And yeah, the sooner we realize that, we don't need anyone's permission.
Exactly.
You give yourself permission to be who you are,
Yes.
allow yourself to be. That way, life will be easier. Life will be bearable. Life will be comfortable.
Yes.
Because you are comfortable
In your own skin.
Yeah, comfortable with you. You're comfortable of who you are. So that way, life in general will be so comfortable, and you realize that I'm here for a purpose. I'm here to serve a purpose.
Exactly.
Yes, to assist others to see the way. I'm a beacon of light. Let me shine the light for others, and without any expectations.
Yeah, that's the interesting part, which I had to remember, that the source of suffering in this world is having expectations. The minute you cease having expectations and you allow what needs to be, and realize that you are a co-creator. You're creating. So when you create, you don't need permission. You don't need to explain why you're creating. You don't need somebody to say proceed or not proceed. When you know that you are one with the Creator and you're creating, you create from a place of consciousness, and you work towards you cultivate benevolent intentions, because when you create, you see yourself as the mother who birthed everything and who must nurture that which has been birthed. So you create with a consciousness of saying, that which I create, I'm contributing in the life of the universe, in the life of our planet. And because you're doing that, it doesn't matter. You don't wait for somebody. What are they doing? They must do, then you can act. No, you create because you are a co-creator with Source.
Yes.
Even the scripture says, we are made in the image of the Most High. Image doesn't mean the physical. It means we mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
Trinity lies in us, not outside of us.
That's true. That's true. And that's where we get whatever that we're looking for outside.
Yes.
Because when you look for happiness, when you look for love, when you look for peace outside, you look forever.
Yes, you're chasing the wind.
Yes.
Yes.
But the minute you know that you're sitting on your sofa, you look for that feeling. Because love is a feeling. Yes. You know, you know how it feels like.
Yes.
To be in love.
With self.
With self. You know how it feels like to be in peace. You know how it feels like. That way it becomes easier for you to attract.
Yes.
To be surrounded by people that bring you peace.
Yes.
But the minute it's chaotic within you, believe me, you'll attract people that are chaotic. Your life will be just chaos, But the minute you connect with that inner peace, you connect with that inner love, you'll be surprised that you surround yourself with such people.
It's interesting. I'm reading the Hermetica, the book of Thoth, but there they'll say Trismegistus, Thoth, yeah. So he says that when you want to experience something, you must fuse with it. So when you say you want to know God, you're not going to find God in the scriptures or in the building, the temple. When you want to know God, go within you and see yourself equivalent to the God that you're seeking. That's becoming.
Yes.
That's becoming that which you're seeking and become one with that. So in that book, then he says, to know God, see yourself as God. The world will say that's blasphemy. But I'm saying once more, to know God or that entity or that name, that being we call the supreme being that created it all. See yourself in that image and allow that being to be awakened from within, because the being is not outside of self. The being is within. And the themes that we spoke about today, me and you've got both books. So they are covered in the book, The Gem Lotus of Thousand Petals, which is a recent book. And then Odyssey of a Healer, which was based in when I was doing my PhD in the US, and I was interacting with the Native Americans and all the healers all over the world, Nepal. So it's covered there. So I don't know if you want to say something about the book since you're reading. I don't want to blow my own trumpet.
Yeah. I think I once said to you, I got the books exactly as I say, that it's like you were saying that, you know what, Mmatheo, just go there by the corner there and fetch her,
Because you're hiding.
Yeah.
You know what? When I came out of my cocoon, I didn't want to come. Let me tell you.
Yes.
I've been justifying why I'm in my cocoon. And then I'll say, we abuse the word be humble. So I will say, in spirit, you must be humble. You must not come out. Until my daughter said, Mommy, you're actually using that as an excuse, because there comes a time in the journey of a being where now you need to share your journey with others. And she said, Mommy, I hear you, but in the true sense of the word, that statement is spoken from a place of fear. False evidence appearing real. And she challenged me and she said, why do you keep on hiding that which has been bestowed to you to share with the world? That challenged me, because she said, why are you hiding that which has been bestowed to you? It's not about you. You're just a vessel and it needs to be shared with the world. Don't you think that it's an act of, in the process of being fearful, but also you're becoming selfish? I was challenged for a long time. She's my daughter, but I had to contain myself. And then for a minute, the human nature in me went, how dare she says that to me. But when I was sitting in meditation, I was humbled. I remember tears came down. And then I said, how long I'm going to operate from a place of fear, of hiding that I know who I am in spirit. I know why I'm here. I know my mission, my purpose. I cannot hide anymore. And I broke the cocoon and I came out. I became that lotus emerging from the muddy waters. I became that butterfly that broke the cocoon and say, I will flap my wings. They are weak. I will flap. I get rejected. It shouldn't actually disturb me, because it's not me who's been rejected. It's the message that's been rejected. And everybody hearing the message will receive it from a place of fear, because this world doesn't teach us to be assertive. It says, dampen yourself, dim your light, be a robot. When you start challenging the notion of being a robot, you are a threat to the system.
It's true. Because even in marriage, you can't be who you are.
Of course.
You have to dim your light in order for your partner
to shine.
Yes.
You become a trophy wife.
Yes, you become a trophy wife.
Trophy wife at the expense.
Yes.
You actually holding everything, and you need to play low.
Yes.
Play low, Yeah. Be a worm. When you
Yes.
know that you are a serpent, you are a dragon.
Exactly. You must just be like a carpet, allow, you can't say a wrong is a wrong. You cannot say, no, that I don't like. You've got to pretend. And that alone suppresses you.
Exactly.
You become depressed because it's like you're living your life, a fake life.
You are living a fake life because you actually, by living, I noticed that I even ended up being sick and having cancer. When you reject yourself, cancer comes from, it's an autoimmune disease. Auto means you actually self-destruction. You destroy your own self.
Exactly.
When you reject yourself, you cannot be embraced and accepted by others because you're rejecting yourself. So why will you expect the other, who's your mirror reflection, to actually accept you when you're actually rejecting yourself? So everything starts with self. Everything starts with self-love, self-love, self-acceptance, and occupying your pedestal, unapologetic, and saying, I am here. I'm not here by mistake. I am here because I chose to be here. And I'm here to contribute in the spiral ascension, in the birthing of new earth as it's been ushered. I'm here to be that manifestation of the great spirit source, the invisible manifesting self in form to make self visible. So that if you say you don't know the spirit, you just have to look at the other, who's a creation and a manifestation of the great spirit.
And Dr. Mmatheo, that's a root cause of depression.
Yes.
Of what humanity is experiencing today. Suppressing who you
suppression.
truly are.
Yes.
And that is so deep, I actually feel so emotional. It's so deep because people now, they believe that if they can have money, if they can have big houses, if they can have big cars, they'll experience peace within themselves. But the fact is that one just needs to be truthful to themselves. You allow yourself, it doesn't mean that you become disrespecting to others, but just show yourself love. Just accept yourself, allow yourself to be who you are. As I said before, that I was diagnosed with depression. I've learned that depression, it's not something that's caused by the outside.
Yes.
Depression, it's your soul being suppressed.
And
your
true self,
yes,
your
authentic self.
The source in you.
Yes, that you oppress, and that leads to depression. But the minute you acknowledge, you just give yourself you just give yourself love, you just give yourself recognition, the sympathy that you expect from others. You give it to yourself. You just say, hey, shame, yes, Sindisiwe. Shame as in not like being a victim or, but loving yourself.
Exactly.
Caring for yourself, before caring for others. Because what we tend to do, I'd love you way too more than I'd show myself love.
Yes.
But the minute I love myself genuinely, it will be easier for me to give you that love, give you that that peace, so that we can all be in a happy place. But if we keep on pretending that, I've got this and that, I'm happy. I grew up in money. I grew in love. My parents were loving, a warm home, but there was that thing where that was lacking within me. You know, there was that thing that I'd feel depressed, I'd feel bad, at times I remember I'd expect a spaceship to come for me. You know, feeling that, no, I'm at a wrong place, no, my parents are not my parents, you know, my
I felt that for a long time. I
Yes.
felt in my family that are my parents, there was a time I felt truly, even though I look so much like my father, I felt I was adopted and I felt not belonging. And now in my adulthood, I realize it's not because of anything they were doing. It's just because when you enter this physical plane with your lights on, already you realize there's so much of this physical plane full of illusion and distortion. So you either transition yourself from that place of purity and with your light so that you also fit into the illusion and the distortion. So for a moment it sells, but after some time you become sick because you realize that in a true sense of the word, you need to actually awaken to your true self. So we need to be aware, and I just want to say thank you for coming over and sharing this. I think we'll be having more series recordings on this one, and sharing and communing and reminding me that I was hiding in a cocoon in the same manner that I'm reminding you. And it's through knowing, through becoming that which we're seeking. And what is it that we're seeking? Returning home to self. And whose self? The God within.
Yes. And returning home doesn't mean, you know, when you pass on.
Yes.
No, you can return home while you're
In this
body
Yes.
at this present moment,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
and it's very important. Dr. Mmatheo, I don't know what to say about these books. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to say with these books, but they've helped a lot, and I'd encourage people to get them.
Yes.
And yeah, and they helped me a lot to remember who I am. And thank you so much for this opportunity, and may you stay blessed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for the communion, Wena Welanga, and thank you for actually, it's good to know that I'm not alone as we travel in this journey, that as we embody the ancient ones and the great goddess mother of creation, and we are awakening and embracing that, we're weaving and we're pulling the strings in this beautiful tapestry. It's encouraging. Thank you very much.